All right, so my name is Jason. I run our distribution team here at MGT. I've had the privilege of working with independent agents throughout my entire career, and what it is that you all do in your communities, what it is that you do to keep the businesses in place, the homes, the personal lines all around you. It's such an important part of our society and culture, and it is. I'm proud to be able to serve you all on a daily basis. So it's very encouraging to be here on the carrier side, helping you get business placed for your employees. And working with such an amazing team if they want to introduce themselves as well.
Sure. I'm Dan, National Sales Manager here at MGT. And really, that just means I've learned how to make a living telling insurance puns. So, super excited to connect with everyone today. This is absolutely one of my favorite hours of the week. And so, thank you all for joining us. Wouldn't be my favorite hour without being able to connect with the agents.
Awesome. And I think we have a raised hand from Lisa that might have a question. Lisa, feel free. I don't know if it's in the chat.
Yeah, that's a good point. Annalise let's have your introduction, but like I'm gonna drop in chat. Make sure that y'all put we don't because this is a webinar, you can't come off camera, you can't speak, but it's just so that we can have a large number of agents in here with us. Feel free to add anything to the chat and we will address your questions live as we go. Please, Annalise.
Awesome. Yep. And so my name's Annalise and I work in broker and customer success. I'm just gonna get the slideshow going. Work in broker and customer success here at MGT Insurance. So you might have heard from me via email or via the phone. And I really enjoy working in insurance. This is my first year in insurance. And so really just diving headfirst into all of it and really excited to be on the MGT team. Something about MGT Insurance is that we are growing and we are growing fast. Not only are we growing our appetite to make sure that we have a lot of great classes for you folks, but we're also growing our technology. So a lot of that, what you see today, what you've seen a month ago, is all going to change here in about a short year. So that's one thing that's really exciting here at MGT Insurance is that we're always pushing the ball forward and looking for ways where we can really capitalize in the market. So really excited to have you guys on this journey with us because this is really just the start and it's a great time to join and be a part of our team. So we've just done the introductions. I'm going to go over some of our new classes. I'm going to go ahead and then give you a demo and then questions and then contact information. If at any point during this webinar you guys have any questions, feel free to drop it in the chat. Either Jason or Dan will interrupt me or answer the questions via chat. So please, any questions, please feed them to us. And so we're going to go ahead and get started. And I'm going to explain some of our new classes. So just a couple weeks ago, we released what we like to call Restaurants Light. And so it's really restaurants or food places with no hazardous cooking. Think blenders, toasters, ovens, those sort of things are okay. If there's like a fryer or any open flame, that's not going to fit into that class yet. Types of business that fall under this restaurant lights class are like bagel shops, donut shops, if they just reheat the bagels, ice cream shops, yogurt shops, things along those lines. Very simple food establishments. Food trucks or coffee shops are not, or coffee trucks are not an appetite if they're traveling from location to location. But I know in Austin, Texas, there's a lot of places that are just a food truck and in one location stays in that parking lot. That is going to fall in appetite if it falls under this restaurants light class. This is just a preview of what's coming in just a few weeks here, which is going to be full restaurants. So we just released this version to kind of get a feel for the market, see what some classes look like, and then we're going to release big restaurants just here shortly.
Yeah, let me jump in really quick on that as well. Like it's really exciting. We just had a meeting as a team about all the individual specifics, and we have a very broad and eager appetite when it comes to restaurants. I'm really excited to get that launched with y'all here in 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks, as a matter of fact. So your timing is great for getting signed up with MGT because we've got one of our biggest class launches right around the corner.
Yep, very exciting. I'm very excited for that. And then just to go over MGT Insurance, like I mentioned, our technology is really moving forward. The way we present ourselves online is really advanced too. So not only like 4 months ago, we had a different website. Now we have a whole new revamped website. Looks really good. Our colleague Sean put it together. We have a couple things on that website. We have chat support. So if you go to mgtinsurance.com, in the bottom right corner, there's a chat support. Either me, Dan, or Jason will be there to assist you if you have any questions on the fly. There's also something called our appetite agent. And what that does is Amy is our appetite agent, and she is somebody here that you can use this chat support that you can use here to ask about appetite, specifically MGT insurance appetite. So you can ask her, can I write a tanning salon? and she's going to give us an answer. And she's going to say, unfortunately, MGT Insurance doesn't write tanning salon. So you can kind of get a feel for what our appetite is if you're working kind of off hours or if you're just curious. Come to mgtinsurance.com, utilize Amy to kind of get an idea of our appetite. And then this chat button right down here in the corner is what I was talking about. If you're working on the fly, you can contact us here.
And
So
also, if you want a fun little tidbit, see if you can find Amy at various different places on our website. Don't show them, Annalise.
it's a little preview. Yes, but Amy is our appetite agent. She is our goat. She's our little mascot, and she's helping us lead the way. So that's just some fun stuff that we have going here at MGT Insurance. I'm going to go ahead and jump into our demo. And the way that you would sign in from mgtinsurance.com is you would come here and you would go to the sign in button that's right here in this top corner. And I'm already signed in what's called our demo environment. All the functionality that you're going to see throughout this demo is how it is on the website. It's just the data that we're using. It's just dummy. So I'm signed in. My name's Annalise, and I'm an insurance agent. And so I'm going to take this as if this is your first time logging in. So you log into MGT Insurance. Right away, you see this is where you're going to go ahead and start a quote. So if you need to get down to business, you can start your quotes right here. Before we get into that, I'm just going to show you the way that it's set up for an agent. So you have your quotes tabs and your policy tab. So your quote tab is going to have all the quotes that you've ever started here at MGT Insurance, whether you've finished it or they're halfway complete. They're all going to be saved right down here. So if you decide you want to start something, you need to step away from for a little bit, you can come right back and pick up where you left off. When you take a quote from quote to bind, it becomes a policy and it moves over to your policies tab. So you'll see here, I have just a few policies that I've created, a good little variety here of industry. So ice cream, garden, bakery, really kind of show how well-rounded out we are in our appetite, and it's just continuing to grow.
Annalise, we had a great question come in, and any one of us can answer. But what types of businesses are you seeing agents write the most through MGT? This is an excellent question that we regularly get asked.
Oh, you can answer this, Jason.
Yeah. I would love Dan's and the rest of the team's feedback. But there's a couple different ways to answer that, right? So we have over 200 classes, and what we're seeing the most frequently are some of the classes that are a little bit hard to place in the market, but also some of the ones that we're super competitive on, right? And along those lines, we write a lot of like beauty parlors, nail salons, that kind of thing. We write a lot of offices. You might be surprised to hear that we're super competitive in those, even though they're super mainstream. We have a tendency to win a lot of those. And then some of the stuff that we write that's not incredibly common in the market is grocery stores, convenience stores, gas stations, liquor stores. We get a lot of quotes for those as well, because we do really try to meet the agents where we can with offering you the classes that your community needs. So it's a really good question.
Yep. Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and jump straight into the quoting here. And so what I'm going to quote today is I'm going to quote a bagel shop. It's a new class that we've just released here, and I'm really excited about that. I had an address saved, but I kind of forgot it. So I'm just going to go ahead and pick a random address here. And I'm going to start this quote, and then I'm going to do some magic and jump into another quote. But we're starting the quote just like that. And just to let you guys know, at MGT Insurance, you don't have to memorize the business code. Just start typing in the business class, and we're going to give you a drop down so you can pick from there. You're going to see here right away that this is the business that I've selected. We use Google Maps. So you saw I used an address from the drop-down menu. We're using Google Maps so that we can make sure that we're really getting the right location, being able to take a look at the building, make sure everything looks good. At MGT Insurance, we do offer property coverage as long as it is in the right area and it's the right sort of property. It's not completely out of appetite. It is appetite, but just has a little bit more questions to it. So for the sake of this demo, I'm just going to go ahead and select yes today. And then I'm going to say no, there's no other businesses or residential units. At MGT, we're really set up for single business sort of policy. So it can't be a laundromat that has a coffee shop in it as well. That's not going to be an appetite. And then we just want to make sure that there's no construction happening on the building. So if there's construction planned within 12 months of the policy, that's going to make something out of appetite for us. And then I'm going to go ahead and click no, and I'm going to start the quote. And just like that, we're starting the quote here at MGT Insurance. Just close your eyes for 1 second. I'm going to jump into a quote that I've already got started down here so that we can see everything in a quick manner. So it's a 4-step quoting process. Where I just left off is it took me right into step 1, which is the basics of your organization. So for this policy, I did select property coverage so that we can kind of see a more expanded quote flow at MGT Insurance. Some of the quicker stuff will go in about 5 to 10 minutes. Some of the longer stuff will take about 10 to 15 minutes. So you'll see here that I selected a bagel shop. I've confirmed that I'm only serving bagels here. Put in the address right here, name of the organization, phone number, all of sort of the basics. One thing I like to highlight here for the business owner information, please make sure that this information is as accurate as possible. If you have a phone number for the business owner that's different from the business, please provide that to us. Because for whatever reason, if we need to get in contact with the policyholder, we want to be able to do that in the most effective way as possible. So that's a little tidbit I like to know. One thing here is, since I did select that I want to insure a location, you can do up to 4 different locations. So your primary location and 3 additional locations for your business. I'm going to go ahead and click continue. And every time we move through a page here at MGT Insurance, we're gathering information, we're doing scoring on the back end so that we can provide a quote right at the end. So describing more about the organization, when I want the coverage to begin, when it was established, things of that nature, how many employees, everything right down here. We're asking about the insurance, if you've declared bankruptcy, more questions regarding to the restaurant. And so since I did select property coverage for this policy, this is looking a little bit long. If you have something without property coverage, the questions are going to be a lot shorter. And so then now I'm going to jump into tell us about your location. So let's just say you start a quote and you did select property coverage. You get this far, you realize, actually, I don't need property coverage. And this tell us about your locations. This is a place where you can select BPP only for your policy, and it's going to change the quote so you don't have to restart it. But for this one, I'm going to keep the property coverage. And then we're asking all the questions here about that property, making sure that we feel comfortable with the quote that we're going to provide. And not only that, we want to get this quote through without any sort of referral. So as long as we answer honestly and it fits within our appetite, we're hoping to get these quotes through without referral so you can bind at the end of it. We're asking more questions right here about the roof, about the building, automatic sprinklers. If there's automatic sprinklers, there's a little bit of a discount in there. Do you own the building? If we do own the building, that's great. We're going to go ahead and select yes, and we're going to answer these questions right here. Right here is a little tool that we've built in, desired building coverage limit. We've already done some calculations here. Also, these little question marks, if at any time you're unsure what we're asking, you can use those question marks to help guide you. And so then I'm going to go ahead and continue here. One thing I like to know is, or I've noted in the past, is that if there's additional insureds and you know about those additional insureds or you're unsure about the additional insureds, make sure to ask your policyholder while you're filling out the quotes. It is something that we can adjust after the fact, but there is a cost to that. And so to just kind of avoid that cost, avoid that extra leg room, just do that on the front end. And we can add the additional insureds right here through the quoting process. Like I said, if you find out after the fact, that's not a problem. It does come with a little bit of a cost, but if we can get ahead of that, I do suggest doing so. And that's something I've just started mentioning this last couple of weeks because I have seen policies that bound just last week, and this week they're asking for a change. And so to just avoid those sort of extra costs, we can put that in the front end of this quoting process. So you select here, I did select, I have a couple additional insureds, manager, lesser premises, and then we're going to go ahead and click continue, and that's putting me more through the quoting process. And so now I've answered all the questions about my organization, what kind of activities, sales we have, more about the location, the insurance, the kind of coverages, the property value. And now we're going to jump into optional coverages. Since this is a bagel shop, it does have the ability to have spoilage in it. Optional coverages are going to change depending on your state and what kind of coverages are available. So if you're an agent who writes in multiple states, you might notice that this optional coverages changes. Sometimes there's hired non-owned auto. You'll see here that it is not. Sometimes there'll be spoilage if it's a restaurant. These optional coverages are going to change, so don't be alarmed if you don't see it consistently. It's just going based off the location and the coverages that we have available. And so for this bagel shop, I did select spoilage. I just want to make sure that we're covering the business. And we're going to go ahead and get some more information about the spoilage. So for restaurants light, we are capturing all the information that we feel is necessary. And then for restaurants that's going to be expanded, we're going to be capturing just a little bit more information, making sure that we're getting all the right coverages and providing the right options. So you'll see here for this option, I did select all three. So it could be power outage only, equipment breakdown or contamination, or you can have a combination of all three. We do ask that there is a maintenance agreement that provides regular inspection and servicing on all the equipment. And that's going to be something that you see also for restaurants expanded. We're going to be asking about the hoods, making sure that those are all being cleaned properly, things of that nature. So that's something to just prepare yourself or just know, making sure you have understanding on what kind of maintenance is happening for these restaurant exposures. And then I'll go ahead and click continue. So I know I went through that a little bit fast, folks, but it is really that simple. As long as you have all the information about the business, the additional insureds, and the correct numbers, you're going to be able to get a quote here at MGT in just about 10 minutes. And like I said, this was a little bit more of an extensive quote because I had property and of the class code. But if it's something really straightforward like a tailor, you could probably get it through in about 8 minutes. And so this little waiting that we're doing right here, this is us doing all the magic on the back end and providing a quote. So I was able to get this quote all the way through without any underwriting referral. MGT feels comfortable with all the information I've provided, and this is the quote that they feel comfortable offering. You'll see here there's two ways to pay at MGT. You can either pay quarterly, so it's one upfront payment and 3 quarterly installments afterwards. If you decide you want to pay annually, we do throw a little bit of a discount there for you. If you scroll down, you see these are sort of the coverages that we feel comfortable providing based off the information given to us. You do have the ability to mess with to work with these numbers if you decide you want a higher deductible, if you decide you want to add identity fraud. All these options are within limits. And you can get these through and change without a referral. One thing that will trigger a referral, as of right now, is 2-4 limits, but with restaurants coming out soon, we're going to be increasing those limits. So that's really exciting. And so this is, go
Real
ahead.
quick, Annalise, sorry. We had a question come in, and Dan, I'd love your help on this one if you don't mind. They ask, which coverage, I'm sorry, assuming that the coverage is subject to deductible, is that correct? And in particular, they're talking about equipment, contamination, et cetera.
So any deductible would be listed on the quote letter as the best answer there. I don't believe that there is, but certainly worth double checking that quote letter just to confirm.
That's perfect. Thank you.
Excellent question.
Yep, keep them coming. So you'll see here now we've got this quote, and at this point as an agent, you can do one of two things. You can go ahead and click continue and say, okay, I feel pretty comfortable with his quote. I feel comfortable with the terms. We're going to click continue. You can print the quote and send it right over to the potential policyholder so they can have a look at all the questions and make sure everything aligns. But let's say that you already know that everything does align and they're ready to go. They like this quote. MGT has won it against all the competition. Let's go ahead and move forward into the purchasing. So when we're going to purchase a quote, we'll go scroll down from the page and we'll go to confirm and purchase. And so at this point, as an agent, you have two options. You can send, before that, but since I have additional insureds, we're going to be asking that all up front so that we can put that in the deck page. So that's important. Like I mentioned, if you can get this information prior to the quoting process or prior to the binding process, it's going to save the insured some charges on the other half. So for this one, I just added Oregon Coast Bank, added the information, and then clicked agreed and continued. Again, now that I have put this additional insured in through the quoting process, it's going to feed into the deck page, into the policy, and that's going to be very helpful. And so circling back to the quote and the purchasing as an agent, there's two things you can do at this point. You can send it to the prospect. What this does, it's going to send the prospect via email, the email that you provided to us, letting them know, hey, you have a quote at MGT Insurance. Let's create an account and let's purchase this quote. When you send it to the prospect, it does kind of put the ball in their court and say, hey, this is your insurance policy. You have the ability to be in control of it here at MGT Insurance. Create your account, make the purchase, and you'll see there that you have all your documents and your policy, certificate of insurance, all that good information. But if you want to give a little bit more of a white glove service, you have the policyholder in your office or they're on the phone and they want to get going, we can go ahead and purchase now. And so this next page that we see here, this policy purchase, is going to be the same page that the policyholder sees if you send it to the prospect. It's going to be the same sort of experience. So we'll scroll down here, and like I said earlier, if you choose to pay annually, there's a little bit of a discount, but you can choose quarterly, not a problem. We have three payment methods here, e-check, credit card, or debit card. I'm going to go ahead and select debit card. And let's see if I can get this through. I had remembered the numbers, but I forgot them.
While you're doing that, Annalise, it's
Yep.
yeah, 411. It starts with a 4. All the rest of everything is 1.
This one.
Yeah, on all of it. Yeah.
Okay.
So we had a question. Are you offering quotes in the tier 1 and tier 2 areas? Sorry, it's somebody who I thought was answering it here in the office. It's some counties are restricted based on experience. Dan, you may have a better answer for this.
Sure. Yeah. So we are writing business in tier 1 and tier 2 counties, but there's a little bit of a trade-off there. We are not writing building limits in those areas. We are writing, however, BOPs with BPP, or business personal property coverage. We only require a minimum of $10,000 limits to qualify for business personal property. And one great little selling feature for those accounts, there's no mandatory wind hail deductible, just one single all perils deductible.
And I think that there's a really great opportunity in the market that we've tapped into, where a lot of folks are just denying anything in those areas at all. And the fact that we're able to do it just without the building, I think is something that hopefully your insureds find a good home for. That's great. Thank you, Dan.
Awesome. I think I figured out this billing. I might have not. Okay. And so then at this point, we're going to go ahead and just put in this information. When you do put in the billing, oh, it's because the expiration is wrong. When we do put in the billing information, you want to make sure to click Save Card. So that's an important part there. I don't know why I forgot this. And then we submit the payment. And so after the payment is submitted, if you're purchasing it for your policyholder, at this point, they're going to get that email saying, you now have an MGT policy. Please sign in and view your policy and accept the terms and conditions. That's a very important step right there. If you purchase this for the policyholder, that you let them know that they need to go to their email address and log into MGT Insurance to accept the terms and conditions. And it's really simple. They just create the account. The very next page after creating their account is the check boxes of terms and conditions. They select those check boxes and bam, their policy is all set. All authorizations have been accepted. So there's no signature or any back and forth that needs to happen. They just need to sign in, create their account, and they're all set. So I'm just going to show you folks what it looks like after something becomes a policy. I'm going to jump into an old quote just for sake of time, and I'm going to jump into self-service. And so what we're looking at here is this is what your policyholder sees. So we've just taken the quote all the way from a quoting to binding. Now it's been bound. The policyholder has gotten an email to sign in or create their MGT account. They've created their account, they've accepted terms and conditions, and they land here what we call their dashboard or their homepage. So as a policyholder, you have the ability to make changes to your profile, which is your email address, your phone number, the sign-in email, the password. Say you got a new treasurer or they changed who they want their contact information to be. All of that can change right here. You can update the mailing address right here. It's not something you need to come to us for. And then after that area, we have the payments home. So a policyholder can come in here and make changes to the payment method if they need to. That's something that they can do on their own. You just select this button, update payment method. It'll open this up and then you'll save it and that'll be updated. But one of the most important things, or I think one of the best things, features that we have here is this documents and communications page. So as an agent, you really have the power to empower your policyholder and say, this is your insurance policy. Get in here, take a look at it, read your deck page, have an understanding of what coverages you really truly have. And so this is what the policyholder sees. And for all of your policies at MGT Insurance, you're going to be able to see each individual self-service from that policies area. My lights just went out here. And so you'll see here this authorization request email. This is what you have to make sure that the policyholder accepts. It looks just like this right here. They log in, create the account. You also see here policy set documents. They have the ability to see all communications that happen. So if we send emails, it's all going to be right here. To the right here, they have the ability to view or print their declarations page, and then they have the ability to create the certificate of insurance. And so this is a way for you to empower your policyholder and let them know that they can get in here and do these things. So if you're a little bit busy, they ask a request from you, just say, hey, remember you can log in and do it yourself. That's a little tool that we have for you folks here. And so that is the power of the MGT Insurance quoting platform. You can quote, you can bind, you can see a policy, you can help manage a policy for your policy holders. And it really is that simple. Like I mentioned, our tech is going to be growing in the next few months, so things might start looking a little bit different. But for the most part, we've got things really locked down here, and we're really excited to grow with you folks. So I know there was a few questions during this process, but if any of you guys have any questions, now is a great time to let us know.
Yeah, so we got a couple of them that came in, and then I have an announcement for the group that's here as well. Do they have the ability to print their full policy? Does the insured have the ability?
Yeah, definitely. So once they create their policy in that documents and communication page, there's a policy documents right there. That's going to have the full policy right after the purchase.
Nice, thank you. And then will we be adding California soon?
California, I don't have a timeline on that, but I could say that there's conversations onto how we can get that going. I know Washington State is on next on our list, and California is going to be a fast follow.
Yeah, so soon, definitely. I like Stan's air quotes, soon. That's correct. That's a perfect word for it. We've been working on it for a while, y'all. We're very excited for it to come in. So as soon as we get through the objections, you know that we're going to be launching it as soon as we can. Is the customer able to see prior policies if they need a prior cert? So that is something that is very exciting that we're going to be able to offer here very soon. And the answer is yes. We would be able to build that in for y'all. We're just about to hit our first renewals. So it'll be exciting to have that functionality here within the platform very soon. Who can we contact to find out our login and password? That's us. Hey, look at that. Annalise is ready for your question.
Yes, so all the contact information is right here for you folks. You can do chat support at mgtinsurance.com. These are two emails if you just want to screenshot or remember. It's really easy, support or underwriting at mgtinsurance.com. And our phone number right there. Give us a call if you ever have any questions. One thing that I do like to highlight right now is that if you get a quote and it gets referred, we are growing. And so our referral list is growing and our underwriters are working as hard as possible to get those done in a timely manner. But if you know you're working on a tight deadline, email underwriting at MGT Insurance. That way we can prioritize your quote and just get you an answer as soon as possible. Our goal is to always work through those as soon as possible, but there's no problem with the little fast pass via email. So definitely utilize underwriting at mgtinsurance.com if you have referrals you need to be looked at.
Yeah, so along those lines too, I just shared Jason's. I just shared Jason's email address as well as Dan's in the chat. You're welcome to reach out to us too, and we can help make sure that we escort those through the process so that we're getting it to you as quick as possible. What is the turnaround time from for those? We got a question. So our SLAs are currently 24 hours. Well, one business day, right? But similar to what Annalise said, as we grow, sometimes we have some expansions that we weren't necessarily expecting. It takes us a little bit longer to get back to stuff. So please, like expect that we're going to get to it as soon as we possibly can, but definitely use those avenues that Annalise suggested. Copy myself, copy Dan in, and we'll make sure that your quotes get reviewed immediately. But typically we're looking at about a 24-hour turnaround. So then it looks like the questions have slowed down. The other thing that I wanted to say is use those email addresses that I just dropped, both Jason and Dan. We are, similar to what Annalise teased a little bit earlier, we are building out a brand new platform. We're very excited that as fast as all of this was, it's going to be even quicker, where we're pulling in third-party data sources, but we're still allowing agents to have the agency over what gets written, what the exposures are, all of that different stuff. And we would love to work with some agents to get some of that testing on the new platform prior to launch. We're hoping to have it here within the next couple of months, which means that we need testers whenever you're ready. So if you're the kind of person who gets excited about technology and insurance, you like building up your relationships with your carriers, if you like to help us understand how it is that we can make an even better product for the independent agent, we'd love to hear from you and get you on that test panel. So reach out to us, and we've got some exciting new stuff for the technology coming here very soon as well.
Yep. Awesome. Well, folks, we really appreciate your time today. You have all of our contact information. Do not hesitate if you have any questions or anything. We are a very tech-enabled company, but there's a lot of humans behind that tech. So don't feel any scared to reach out to us. And we appreciate your time today. August is going to be a great month. So just keep an eye out for any email communications we have coming to you guys as we release these next classes.
Thanks for coming today, everybody. You've been awesome to work with, and we'll talk to you all here very soon. See you, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.